Hey, anyone who's watching, welcome back. I finally was able to make my YouTube channel. So this is the first video I am recording where I actually have the channel to upload it to. So it exists. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who has watched my videos and subscribed. I mean, we're talking low double digits, but that's awesome. I honestly didn't expect anyone to watch these videos. So the fact that anyone is, it's awesome. And then all of your comments have been really nice. Everyone's saying, I'm doing carnivore too, and I'm having great success. So that's just really encouraging. And that's one of the reasons why I want to make this vlog. And I'll talk more later about why I'm doing this. That sort of anecdotal, experiential evidence is something that I want to add my voice to. But I'll talk about that later. So yeah, I am a few days before week 4 of being on the carnivore diet, and things are going really well. I'm planning to give an update, hopefully Wednesday or maybe a little bit later this week, on just some of the numbers that I'm seeing, of the weight that I've lost, of the measurements. You know, I'm taking body measurements and metrics, taking my blood pressure, that sort of thing, to report on those on Wednesday. So that'll be good. And in this video, I wanted to talk about two things primarily. One is about something I learned about my own body and how it kind of works with food. And then to explain why I'm trying the carnivore diet versus another diet. So the first thing that I really like about carnivore is that I'm learning about my own body. I'm becoming a scientist, and I'm just trying things and seeing how my body responds. And it's kind of interesting to see, you know, oh, if I eat too much of this, it makes me feel this way. But if I stick to this kind of food, it makes me feel better. Or this one, you know, helps me feel energized. That in and of itself is really neat to study yourself. And I didn't do that for most of my life. You know, for most of my adult life, I've just done whatever I felt like, and my body responded based on my choices, but I wasn't being proactive with those choices. I wasn't being a good detective. I wasn't making a decision and then acting on it. I was just go with the flow, and, you know, oh, I got a headache, I'll just take some aspirin. You know, so I was very responsive in my health, and I can see myself becoming more proactive, which I think is good no matter what. No matter where this diet ends up, I think the fact that I'm being more proactive will be good. But something else that I've learned about myself is sometimes I can have carb cravings that are not based on physiology. So let me explain. Last weekend, we got some I'll say tough news about some members of my family. Don't worry, they're okay, but it's just news that caused stress in my life and stress to my family. And so I had been doing very well on the carnivore diet, and I hadn't cheated, aside from that cheese day that I told you about already. But after I heard that bad news about my family, and I was just stressing about it and thinking about all the implications, I got pretty bad carb cravings. And I knew that it wasn't because I had like eaten some candy or something. It was from the emotional stress. And that was just kind of eye-opening. You know, you always kind of know in the back of your head, like, yeah, we stress eat. A lot of times we even joke about it. Like, yeah, I was stress eating and I ate a whole thing of ice cream. But this was legitimate, where I knew I had no bodily reason to feel this craving. It was all based on the emotional stress that I felt like I was under. And thankfully, I was able to resist it. I think carnivore really empowers you. Like, I think it's really great for willpower. It's got it built right into the plan. You know, other diets, I think, require you to just have willpower and to just do a good job. And hey, when you feel hungry and your body wants it, you just tough it out. Carnivore seems to like boost your willpower so that your body and your mind are working together towards your goal, which makes it really great. So thankfully I did not eat any carbs that day, and I'm still on track. And I know that if I had eaten carbs, I would have binged and I would have fallen off the wagon, and I'd be making a very different video today about how I need to get back on. So that was kind of the first thing that I thought was really interesting and I wanted to share with you all. The second is I wanted to talk about why I chose carnivore versus another diet. So I'll start at the beginning by saying there's a lot of contradictory information about nutrition online. You can find a doctor citing studies that says, hey, diet number 1 is the best diet and you should do it. And then you can find other doctors who are citing studies that say, no, diet number 2 is the best and diet number 1 is actually going to kill you or is terrible for you. There's no shortage of contradictory information, and it's really hard in this day and age to know what is true. Like, I don't want to get philosophical on you, but knowing what is true is very hard. And then also knowing that probably each person's body is different and what it needs. There may be many diets that work for you, or there may be many wrong diets and many good diets, and you need to help sort through those for yourself. But either way, it's very hard to know what to believe when it comes to nutrition. And yes, I could dive into the studies themselves and start to really try to understand the methodology and how they do them. And oh, this one's a junk study. I hear doctors talk about that all the time. This is not a good study. Oh, well, crap. If I can't trust a study, what can I trust? A doctor talking about a study? And unless I'm willing to dive deep and learn how to read studies and understand them and parse them, and I'm not willing to make that time investment, and I don't even know if I'd be capable of it, I don't know. So you have to pick an alternate thing to trust in. And there's no absolute truth with nutrition. There's no Bible for nutrition. And so I kind of looked around and thought, well, anecdotal and experiential evidence might be a better way to go. So I started looking up testimonials of people who had lost weight and who had had great success on diets. And I came across the carnivore diet. And I found other diets where people had said hey, I cured diseases that I had and I lost a bunch of weight. But the carnivore one stood out above the others because people were raving about it. The people who had done it and succeeded were extremely excited about it. And they would talk about curing all kinds of diseases and things like depression. I've never heard about a diet curing depression, and I'm not saying that carnivore will cure your depression, but I saw a lot of people talking about how carnivore improved their depression. And so just finding those sort of testimonials really excited me, and it allowed me to start diving into the research and figuring out what's this all about. And obviously I discovered some of the main objections to carnivore, so my wife wisely encouraged me to look at the contrasting opinions. So I looked at people who tried to debuff or debunk the carnivore diet, and they would bring up things like high cholesterol or high risk of cancer or heart disease. And heart disease and cholesterol kind of go together in their minds. But so I was able to just kind of go research that and find out, what does carnivore say about that? And in the end, I did have to take a leap of faith and say, hey, I'm trusting these doctors who are citing these studies about carnivore versus these doctors who are citing these studies that seem to contradict carnivore. It's not a surefire method, but going based off of the testimonies of people who had success on carnivore, it's awesome. I remember seeing there was a husband and wife couple, the Laura Spath channel. That's one that I watch. It reminded me a lot of myself. And I thought, they've got kids, they've got they're married and they want to be healthy, and they were able to pull it off. And another one that I watch is Ferrigno Freedom. He had tried keto and had some success on it, and then finally went on the carnivore diet and had amazing success. And you can find his early videos, and you can see, you know, 5 years later, he's still on it. He's still doing great, and he looks incredible compared to how he started. Another one I've been watching is Homestead How. That guy is really energetic, and I really like his energy as he talks about carnivore because it changed his life. He had so many health problems, and carnivore helped. Seems like all of them. And so I just got really excited, and it seemed like, you know, I don't have as severe health problems as some of these people, but I could tell I was on that path. You know, I'm sure I was pre-diabetic. I was starting to have lots of different problems and just not feeling well. Like the average, if you charted out how I felt during the week, the average was lousy. So I really wanted to improve my quality of life. And I think I have, and I'm not even a month in. So I'm having lots of good results. I'm having lots of good conversations with people. There's a lot of people that are interested when I say I'm doing carnivore. There are plenty of people that try to talk me out of it, but there's also many people that are interested because it's different. And I think they also recognize that kind of contradictory information that's out there for nutrition. It's really hard to know. So when you find someone who has found a system that works for them, that carries a lot more weight than a doctor standing up and citing a study that may be completely true, but it's really hard to know. So I don't know. I think in this day and age, anecdotal and experiential evidence just carries a little bit more weight, yeah, pun intended, carries a little bit more weight when you're trying to discern the truth. So anyway, those are just my thoughts, and I really like how I'm learning a lot on this carnivore diet, trying new things, trying new meat, and things are going great. So look for a 4-week check-in later this week. Thanks for watching, everybody.